Okay everybody, I have a really nice CX500 fuel tank here. Aesthetically, looks great. It's in great condition, but inside we have a little bit of rust. And I have a little area right here that I actually need to weld and repair. So I want to make sure I have a good, clean surface to weld to from the backside. And I want to do a rust removal method in here that is very simple. I've shown you guys a chemical method using electrolysis. But today we're going to use basic fish tank gravel. We're going to pour it inside the tank, we're going to shake it around, and it's going to provide a really good finish. I know you guys are going to like this one. Very cheap, very simple. You just have to invest a little bit of physical labor here. Unless you have like a concrete mixer or something like that you can strap the tank to. I don't, so we got to shake it by hand. But anyway, again, you guys should like this one, so let's jump right in. Now, a word of caution before you begin. Some fuel tanks, like I'll show now, my GL650 as an example, has kind of a kick down right here. And that little kick down is a great place to trap all of these. So you need to make sure that you're trying to get as much out as possible. It's not like it's not like this would cause a problem if you haven't like a filter actually built into the tank, but if that was empty and you got a piece of gravel that works down in it, that could potentially block a fuel line. And then if you're lining a tank, it's just trying to get around a rock and it might not adhere well. So it's just something to take precaution with. If you can stick like a clothes hanger down in there and try to fish it out or something, who knows? But just be advised, try to pay attention to the areas over here that have like a really thin section of metal or really thin gap within it. That's just something you want to pay attention to. Alright, so this tank, as I said, it looks good on the outside, but on the inside it has a little bit of corrosion. And the main thing I need to do is fix this kind of, it's almost like a crack. I don't know what to make of it here, but I have to weld this little seam that has developed some pinholes in it. And before I do that, I want to make sure I have a good, clean surface to weld to on the backside especially. And to do that, we're going to use the gravel as I said. So you can use nuts and bolts or whatever kind of aggregate you want to pour in here. But this stuff, comes in a bag. It's super cheap and it's easy to get. I got it at just any kind of pet store. Pour it in the tank as much as you want, and then what I normally do is mix it with a little bit of acetone and you just shake it around. So we're going to flip this thing over. I'll put a camera in this thing. We'll show you the before where we have all of the corrosion and stuff like that, kind of get an assessment of it. Then we will go ahead and pour this in, do the work, and I'll show you the after. Now the tank itself, you can hear, it's got a little junk in it. So let's open this thing up and we'll figure out how bad it really is. Probably going to end up taking this off for right now just so we don't have to have a lock on it. There we go. That was stuck all of a sudden. Alright, I got my borescope here and a handy dandy cell phone, so let's figure out how bad this is. So it's of course a little flaky down here. Structurally pretty good. This tank has just sat for a while. Here's our pickup screen. Top of the tank looks pretty decent. In that front corner, there's all that sediment that was all getting shook around. I guess there is a seam there or something. That's actually shining on the outside. Now, since I'm going to be putting some acetone in this, I don't want it to be pouring all over the place, so I have a little cap to go on the bottom of here. You want to seal your tank however you see fit. Now, we're ready to pour in the gravel. Alright, now you just shake. Alright, well, we saw this little blemish right there. This one has gotten bigger. We've developed a tiny one there. All of these are along the same seam, okay? Coming over here. That's not good. So, that is very weak. I know I definitely need to weld this area, but as far as the outside, all the pinholes, I think I'm gonna have to line this thing. All right, I think I'm gonna have to make a change of plans here. The acetone, just with the fact that there's so many damn holes on this thing, it's just gonna start ruining the paint more and more, no matter how much tape I try to put on it. So what I think I have to do is just drain the acetone, and then maybe I'll just put a different liquid in it. Probably, I don't know, maybe no liquid at this point. But I think there's still hope. I definitely think we need to line this thing, because there's only going to be more and more pinholes to develop. I've never seen one like this that has that type of seamed opening up in it, as well as like starting to open up around here. So, ooh, I hate to give up on this thing because the tank does look pretty good, but I may have to. Alright, I've been shaking on this thing for a little while, and I know it's not done, but at least want to try to get some of the gravel out of this thing. I will rinse it with water. It's not like we can make it rust worse. And we'll kind of see where we're at, because right now it's still kind of like, it's just coming out really dirty. It's starting to kind of come out of all the little holes and stuff. So I'd like to get the acetone out of here, like I said, and just kind of get an idea where we're at. Alright, we've been working at it for a little bit, so here is our view before we rinse. There's a lot of vapor in here, so it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can bump the brightness. Right along the spine here, still a little rusty. It's hard to get gravel to hit that. Along the sides here, it's kind of just caked in the acetone and rust mix. So it just looks really dirty. Along the front, you can see a little piece of gravel stuck in there. So now let's go ahead and just rinse it out with water. We'll see the results and see how much further we need to go. All right, after a quick rinse, here is what we have. See, there's still some spots, but really not bad. I really didn't shake much on the top here, so that's why you can kind of see how that is discolored. Other than that, looking pretty decent. And then down low here, there's no scaliness anymore. Still work a little bit on that area. But you work at it long enough and this will actually put a nice surface finish on it. But we are going to have to line this tank. No two ways about it. So what I'm going to do is put in more gravel, just do another full round of it, and that should get us looking pretty good. Not going to use any acetone or anything like that. We'll just do it dry on this one. And then see how it turns out. Now I've already drained the acetone out of this tank into this and then poured that into a safe container. There's inevitably going to be like a tiny bit of residue, but for the most part this is filtered in just water. Rust. Alright, just going to keep doing this. Okay, well I just rinsed this thing out and then I just put the air hose to it. Found a couple more little holes, but it's dry enough now to show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so looking in here, much better. Towards the back, there's nothing actually on the metal, it's just a little discolored. Up the side, going towards the front, and of course, here you can see those holes in the side. On the bottom there. Over to the right. Alright, well it is looking a lot better than it was in regards to rust, but we do have our work cut out for us in repairing these holes. This thing's kind of Swiss cheese right now. So what I will do is work on maybe externally patching these if it's weld, if it's solder, if it's just JB weld, I don't know. I will show that at some other point, and then we will go ahead and put a liquid liner in this thing. So I will wait for a Caswell's kit. They're back ordered right now, so it will be a little bit before I can actually get that. But that's the one I want to use for this specific tank. Alright everybody, I realized I forgot one key component here, or one key detail you guys need to pay attention to, and that is preservation of the tank. Now, if your tank is in good shape and it doesn't have holes in it like mine does, you can actually just run it bare metal, and that is normally what is preferred, and you don't have to put a liner in it or anything like that. But you need to prevent rust on this initial cleaning. So what you can do, there's a few options here. Basically, you need to coat the metal with something. Now, in my electrolysis video, I used some fogging oil, and what that is meant to do is adhere and cling to a bare metal surface for, let's say, long time storage or things like that, and it prevents corrosion. It puts a nice kind of barrier on the metal. Works fantastic. You can pick that stuff up pretty much any auto parts store. Just spray a bunch in there, slosh it around, and you're good to go. Now, another thing you can use would be some two-stroke fuel. So that is a gas and oil mix. You got it for your weed eaters or whatever, and you probably have it around the house. So pour some of that in, slosh it around, and then whenever you go to use your bike, you can just pour in your regular gas and just run it on that, no problem. Same thing with fogging oil typically, but if you've got a lot in there, you can drain it out. So you just want to pour something in and try to prevent that flash rust until you can use your bike again. But anyway, I just wanted to jump on and kind of throw in those extra tips, because I know that that's going to be the situation that a lot of you guys are using versus, let's say, doing a liner or something like that. So anyway, back to the regular video. But anyway, let me know if you guys have any questions. Not really sure what to link. It's fish tank gravel. There's nothing special here. You can use kind of whatever you want. But give it a shot. It's just a little bit of labor, but it should work well. Anyway, hope you guys like this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.